Can take your seats, we'll get started. We are very, very fortunate and very happy to have His Holiness Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj in our temple here today. As you all know, he is our GBC, as well as he is initiating Guru in Iskcon, a sannyasi since 1985. He has been very closely associated with Iskcon since a very early age and has been serving Srila Prabhupada for more than 40 plus years, 50 plus years. Jai, 50 plus years. Can I give a big Hari Bol to Maharaj? So we've been waiting for this moment for a very long time, and today it's a fulfillment of all our hard work and sincerity. We've got Maharaj here today, and many of you do not know, but Maharaj is a very good guitar player, and so today Balabhadra Prabhu has arranged a very wonderful presentation. He will also talk, but the presentation will be a very musical one, so we're really looking forward to it. So with that, I'll hand it over to Maharaj and Balabhadra Prabhu.
Okay. Shambhari, thank you very much for the nice introduction. And I'm very happy to be here after so much time, and I've heard so many nice things about the temple here and the devotees and, of course, the mercy of Nrsimha Bhagavan. So I came here just to get Lord Nrsingadev's mercy. Whoops. Is that the guitar? Yeah. Just to get Lord Nrsingadev's mercy and the mercy of the Vaishnavas. And today we're going to be speaking about an event that occurred many, many years ago. And this is the incorporation of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And yesterday was the day we were actually commemorating it. And I thought it would be very important to talk about that. Not just the incorporation, but the events that led up to the incorporation. Events meaning beginning with the great acharyas, beginning with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. Very interesting. So first, because we're here at the Lakshmi Nrsimha Temple, I thought it'd be good if we chanted the prayers to Lord Nrsingadev, but we have a very special melody that we're going to utilize. Balabhadra, you're going to play something too? And this is a melody that I recorded, and then after that we're going to have a dancing kirtan. Do you all know how to dance? This is a Lord Chaitanya's movement. We're supposed to dance. It's not a sit-down movement. So for those of you who aren't too old, you can join in the dancing. But first we'll chant the prayers of the Lord Nrsingadev. All right. Balabhadra, what are you going to play? Okay. Listen to the melody. Namaste, Narasringaya. Namaste, Narasringaya. Baladalad, Dayane. You can chant too. Baladalad, Dayane. Hiranyakasi. Purvataha. And you can clap. Shilatamka Lakolai Kalakalai Itona sing Paratona sing oh. Yato yami tatona singa the tone string back here the string holy the string the string of a team shuddering on proper joy. The string of a team shuddering on proper joy. String of a team shuddering on proper joy. Navakara come a lap of brain and come a put this string of a home. Dalita, Hiranya Kasi Puta the ring of a home. Desavadrita, Narahari Rupa, Jayagare Sagade. Jayagare Sagade. Jayagare Sagade. Navagara Kama Lava Brain, Kama put to sing Nagakam. Ganita, Hiranya Kasi Putano Ring Nagakam. Isavadrita, Narahari Rupa, Jayagare Sagade. Jayagare Sagade, Jayagare Sagade. Tapakara Kama Lava Brain, I come a put to sing Nagam. Dalita, Hiranya Kasi Putano, Ring Nagam. Isavadrita, Narahari Rupa, Jayagare Sagade. Jayagare Sagade, Jayagare Sagade. Navakara Kama Lapa Prena Kama Buddha sing louder. Dalita, Hiranya Kasi Putana Varinga Kagam. Kesavadrita, Narahari Rupa, Jayagare Sagade. Jayagare Sagade, Jayagare Sagade. Jayana Singadev, the Singadev, the Singadev, Jayana Singadev. Jayana Singadev, the Singadev, the Singadev, Jayana Singadev. The Singadev, the Singadev, Diana Singadev, Jaya Palad Maharaj, 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 Jaya Palad Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ate, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ate, Hare Krishna, louder, louder. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram Ram,
Jaya Singhadev, 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 Singhadev.
Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev.
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, now that we've sat for too long, what? Now's a dance. Now a dance. We've got to raise this thing a little bit. Yeah, we're going to stand up. And hopefully all of you are going to stand up. This is not just a performance. Best thing is with these microphones, the best thing is you use NAS. See, there's this. One thing I try to teach people after all these years is the principle of leverage. Anyone's heard about that before? That when you extend this too far, the weight's down and it's hard to keep it up. So usually I find to use this little post here. It works better. I know many of you are engineers, so I'm just teaching you something new here. It's true, most people don't know how to use the microphone stand. So, This is very simple Kira. It's just Hare Krishna, and actually the pranam to Prabhupada. Namaho Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Namande Namaho Vishnu Padaya Kristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Namande Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachar Nivesesha Shunyavani Mashyachagate Charinde Namaste Saraswati Devi. You can clap. Charine Nivesesha Sunyavani Mashyachagate Charine. Okay, Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaurvata Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaurvata Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaurvata Vrinda
Jaya Shri
Krishna
Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari
Gaurvata
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaurvata Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda
Shri Advaita
Gadadhara Sivasari
Gaurvata
Gaurvata Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hey, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram.
Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hare, Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hare, Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya
Govinda.
Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya, Radha Ramana Hare, Govinda Jaya.
Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo,
Jai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Jai Gaur Hari Bo.
Jaya Jaya, Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya
Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya, Prabhupada,
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 Prabhupada, Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Hari Bol.
Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. Okay. I guess Jayom Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Paravatikacharya, also Cheta, Satashi, Shimad, His Divine Grace, Abhaya Chananatha Bhaktivedanta Goswami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Iskcon founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Koti, Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shivasiti Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopi Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan ki jai, Vrindavanam ki jai, Mathuram ki jai, Jagadava Swami ki jai, Mudamaya ki jai, Shrimati Dalasid Evi ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Samariti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharni Nivashesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Jadeja Tarni. So, anyway, Om Ganata Gananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So Krishna consciousness is supposed to be fun. So I believe in having fun. If those are marigolds, I can't put them on. If those are marigolds, I can't wear marigolds because I'm allergic to marigolds. So anyway, so I said we were going to speak about, actually Krishna consciousness is so much fun. And since I have been practicing Krishna consciousness for about 54, 55 years, it gets better and better and better. And sometimes I think it's illegal to have so much fun. The Yamaraj is going to come and arrest me one day to enjoy it. Because that's Kevalananda Kanda, Bhaja Bhaja Bhai, Chaitanya Nitai. just worship Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, and Sringa Bhagavan, and Radha and Krishna. And is only Kevalananda Kanda, only happiness in Krishna consciousness. So, I said I would speak about Prabhupada's incorporation of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We're not going to specifically speak about what happened in New York during the incorporation, because that you can read about in the Prabhupada Lilamrita. But we're going to start over 500 years ago. So, Om Ganat Timidanda Shah Gananjana Shlakaya Chakshura Meditam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namaha. So, over 500 years ago, we had Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda on this planet. We're very fortunate because only once in the day of Lord Brahma do we have Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, and once in a day of Lord Brahma we have Krishna appear, Srimati Radharani appear. So we're very fortunate. We're in this particular cycle where we've had both of those great personalities, and of course Krishna's too, Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna's the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Eti Changsa Kalak Pumsa. Krishna's too, Bhagavan Swayam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And because Lord Chaitanya is in the mood of Srimati Radharani, he becomes more merciful because Krishna is in that mood. He becomes more merciful than he ordinarily is. We have a prayer to Krishna. Hey Krishna Karana Sindhu. Dinabandhu Jagapate Gopeshika Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostate. That Krishna is an ocean of mercy. Well, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has broken open that storehouse or ocean of mercy and distributed everywhere, and not requiring anybody to pay the price for pure devotional service. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is assisted by Nityananda Prabhu. And the interesting thing about Lord Nityananda, many interesting things about Lord Nityananda, is that Lord Nityananda preached to the ordinary folks like us. Whereas Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, generally his preaching was really to the educated people. If you read about it, I mean, there's exceptions to that. But his preaching, I mean, you hear about Lord Chaitanya's associates like Ramananda Roy and Swarup Damodar Goswami and the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Very highly educated. No, I usually when I'm speaking, I don't take water. I take afterwards. So very highly educated people, whereas Lord Nityananda was dealing with the ordinary folks. And Lord Nityananda, he said, I'm going to inundate this whole world with Krishna consciousness, and those who run away and escape, I'm paraphrasing what he said, I'm going to send someone called a Senapati. Senapati means a conquering general, to get them. Because many people escaped from Lord Nityananda's mercy, went different places like America. It's interesting. America, China, people running away from Lord Nityananda. So he predicted Srila Prabhupada's advent. Okay. So they'll fast forward a little bit, and then we get to the great Acharya Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicted that there will be soon a personality who will appear, who will bring everybody to Sridham Mayapur, and they'll be chanting Jai Sachinanda. People from all over, the Americans, the British people, the Chinese, and of course, we're seeing this happening right now. If you go to Sridham Mayapur, especially during the festivals, I mean, it's amazing how many Chinese people are there, Russian people, Americans, and a few Indians. A few. But anyway, it's amazing. And like Prabhupada said, United Nations of the spiritual world. It really is. How we have people, Prabhupada said, Iskcon is so beautiful because we have people with different colors. Prabhupada said, just like a garland, here's a garland with one color. It's also beautiful. Very nice. Smells nice. But this is more beautiful. Doesn't smell. But anyway, it's more beautiful because it has different colors. And Prabhupada said this is Iskcon, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. It's amazing how we have this United Nations of the spiritual world. Anyway, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicted that United Nations. He didn't use that term, but Prabhupada used that term. And then later on, we find, let's talk about his son, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who tried to send his disciples, he did send his disciples to the Western world, but they didn't have much success. There was 1 or 2 devotees made in the Western world. And of course, let's go back to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his endeavor to spread Krishna consciousness in the Western world, sent a book, which is called The Lord Chaitanya Life and Precepts of Lord Chaitanya, to different places. One ended up at the McGill University in Canada. It was later found by Gopal Krishna Maharaj. And so that book was sent in the year 1896, which, for those of you who don't know, was what? The year Prabhupada appeared in this world. And so Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the son of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, said about Srila Prabhupada, in due course of time he will do everything. Because at a particular juncture, what happened is that the devotees were trying to convince Prabhupada to move into the temple, renounce his family life and everything like that. Prabhupada didn't listen to them. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, leave him alone. In due course of time, he will do everything. So he predicted. And then also, there's other instances too, like Srila Prabhupada's understanding the mood and mission of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in this famous poem he wrote, Absolute is sentient, thou hast proved, in personal calamity thou hast moved. And that's an interesting poem. Absolute is sentient means what? That God is a person, he has senses, he has desires, he's the enjoyer of ras. He's called Rasaraj. And he's everything, aham, sarvasya, prabhu, all these different features are there. But ultimately he's a person. So absolute ascension thou hast proved. In personal calamity thou hast moved. In other words, you have defeated this impersonalism. And what is this impersonalism? Is the greatest offense against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's no greater offense. Then, of course, you can offend Vaishnavas. But against Krishna, impersonalism. Like Prabhupada said, when you call God, you say about Krishna or God that he's formless, he cannot see. And Prabhupada said it's like saying he's deaf and dumb, blind, everything like that. So basically it's an insult. If I say about anybody here, you have no brains. Basically, you have no brains. You say that about someone. All right, let's step outside, Maharaj. We'll talk about it outside this room. So, but if you say that about Krishna, Krishna says, okay, you're already outside the material world, so we're going to take care of you. So Krishna doesn't have to take us outside, we're already outside. So, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, he has understood my mission. And he said about Prabhupada, whatever he writes, you should publish it. Oh, we have a new guitar player here. So anyway, so there was that exchange with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And of course, Prabhupada first met his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in Calcutta, in Uttadanga, on a rooftop where Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was giving a talk about Krishna consciousness, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur sort of stopped his talk and looked at these young men, that's Prabhupada and his friend Naren, who had dragged Prabhupada, actually he had dragged Prabhupada to see his spiritual master. And the reason he dragged Prabhupada to see Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is that Prabhupada had had a lot of bad experience with sadhus before. Like Prabhupada's father, Gaur Mohan Dey, was so liberal, and he would invite maybe 3 or 4 sadhus a day to come to his house. And when the sadhus asked for some herbal medicine, I'm not going to describe what herbal medicine is, ganja, then he would provide it. You may think that's shocking that sadhus would smoke ganja, but I've seen this. I mean, one time I was circumambulating a temple of the Lord Shiva in India, and there were some sadhus behind the temple. I think it was hashish rather than ganja. And they said to me, "Oh, Maharaj, welcome. Would you like some Mahaprasada?" I was thinking, I don't want to offend. If you refuse Mahaprasadam, it's a great offense. So fortunately, it was Ekadasi, so I said on Ekadasi, I don't take any prasadam. So anyway, so Prabhupada had experience with all the different sadhus, and he didn't want to go to see another one, and his friend Naren dragged Srila Prabhupada to see Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur saw Prabhupada, he said, "You are educated boys. You should preach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message in English," and that meant the Western world. And Prabhupada, he took that as his life and soul immediately. Immediately, he took that, and he accepted Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as his guru, although it took 11 years before he actually took initiation in Allahabad. But from that point forward, everything that Prabhupada did was to carry out that mission. Of course, Prabhupada was engaged in business, in the pharmaceutical business. Interesting, there's a funny story about that. Once upon a time, one of Prabhupada's early followers got arrested for taking drugs or dealing drugs. And Prabhupada asked him, why'd you get arrested? He said, "Because I was dealing drugs." And Prabhupada said, "I was too." But the drugs Prabhupada was dealing with were pharmaceutical drugs. So Prabhupada had a really wonderful sense of humor. I mean, many, many times when I was with Prabhupada, one time I was with Prabhupada, and there was a lady there with a very short miniskirt on, and Prabhupada was asked by her, "Why do you people have the bald heads? You shave your heads." And Prabhupada said, "It's better to have a cool head and warm legs." And I mean, so many funny things. There's another story you probably haven't heard before. In California, there was this airline that we used to be called Pacific Standard Airlines, where the stewardesses didn't dress too nicely. And Prabhupada said you should change the name of Pacific Standard Airlines to Prostitute Standard Airlines. Prabhupada would say these things directly, and it was really, really amazing. I mean, Prabhupada, great sense of humor. So anyway, getting back to the story. So Prabhupada took the instructions from his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, as his life and soul, and even the business he was doing, whatever he did in his family life, was meant for that purpose. Prabhupada had a place to live with his family, and he was inviting people to hear Krishna Katha, preaching the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But unfortunately, or fortunately, as you may look at it, Krishna arranged that Prabhupada's wife was not really so favorable. She was a devotee, but she didn't like to preach. So she would interfere with Prabhupada's preaching. This is an interesting story told to me by Saswarup Maharaj, that she would take a feather duster. Does everyone know what a feather duster is? That's an old version of a vacuum cleaner. Because nowadays you have RoboVacs. You don't even have vacuum cleaners anymore, right? Oh, you have one here. Oh my God. You get a Robo Pujari eventually here? Robo-kirtan, robo-pujari. So anyway, she took a feather duster and she was blowing the dust in the face of Prabhupada's people that he was trying to preach to. Could you imagine that? Preaching, and someone's wife goes, psh, 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 psh. And wasn't such a favorable marriage. But Prabhupada stayed there, took care of his children nicely, was responsible. And she also had, everyone knows the story. She sold Prabhupada's Bhagavatams for tea biscuits. She told Prabhupada, I'd rather have tea than you. I mean, so many interesting things happened. So, and you may think, why did Krishna arrange these circumstances? And you'll see so many other trials and tribulations that Prabhupada had to endure. Not only Prabhupada, but you see every great devotee practically. I mean, look at Queen Kunti. How many trials and tribulations did she have to endure? Of course, she was praying for more, right? She said in the Bhagavatam, Tatra Tatra, Jagat Guru, give me more, give me more. Prabhupada was asked, should we pray like that? Prabhupada said, no. Material world is miserable enough as it is. So we don't ask for more. We ask for less. I mean, about 3 years ago, I had kidney stones. I wasn't praying for more. I was praying, Krishna, stop it. I surrender. I'll be a good devotee. I'll chant nice japa. Just stop it already. And eventually he did. Thank God. So Prabhupada had to endure all these difficulties. And, I could mention the difficulties like the Jhansi temple that he tried to open up after he left home. And the Jhansi temple was taken away by for a ladies' bhavan, by Governor Munshi's wife, took it away. And so many trials. He gets gored by a bull trying to preach Krishna consciousness, and nobody's there to take care of it. Imagine getting gored by a bull, and nobody's there to pick you up on the street. Whew. Amazing. I mean, he gets opposed by his godbrothers in so many different ways. This guy, after Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left this planet, he was staying for some time in the ashram of one of his godbrothers, and his godbrothers basically said, well, you don't really fit in here, but we'll give you 2 sets of dhotis, you can carry out your mission. They wouldn't support him in any way. I mean, that's another story. I mean, we can get into that in a second. But, so one may question, here's Krishna's pure devotee. Why is Krishna subjecting his pure devotee to all these trials and tribulations? Interesting, isn't it? He's already a pure devotee. He doesn't need to get purified. I remember I joined the Krishna conscious movement. Every time something happened to you, you're getting purified, Prabhu. I remember that one of the first things, purifications we all had when we joined the Krishna conscious movement, was eating a lot of food with chili peppers and having digestive problems, right? You remember this, Balabacha? A lot of chili peppers. Prabhupada really liked chili peppers. Whole chili peppers. When he would make the chaunts, you all know what a chunk is called? Chunk, chaunts, different places, you pronounce it differently. We'd have to run out of the temple. That's how hot it was. Could you imagine? We were going, and running out the door of the temple. You experienced that too? Yeah, so I remember eating this really hot prasadam with this floating, we call them sharks. You call that sharks too? Floating sharks. And everybody was, going to the men's room or ladies' room, whatever. And we say, you're getting really purified, Prabhu. I remember other times too, like I joined the movement in 1971. I met Prabhupada at the same time I joined the movement, and I asked Prabhupada for initiation. Immediately, Temple President was so upset for me, he almost killed me. And he ran behind me with a mop to beat me, and he said, I'm going to purify you. His name was Amarendra. Not the Amarendra you know here, but it's my friend is a lawyer. He lives in Alachua, Florida. So anyway, getting back to the point, Prabhupada didn't need that purification. We needed that purification. We really needed it. Because, like Prabhupada said before we joined the Krishna conscious movement, we were like pieces of coal. You know, a piece of coal, you try to clean a piece of coal, just get your hands dirty. The coal doesn't get any cleaner. So we needed that purification. So Prabhupada didn't need to get purified. So why does Krishna do that? Prabhupada was always thinking of Krishna. Prabhupada said there was never a time when I did not think of Krishna. So the answer is, Prabhupada gave the answer. Prabhupada was asked one time, why is there so much opposition? And Prabhupada said, without opposition, where's the chance for glorious victory? So in other words, Krishna is glorifying his pure devotee. Because let's say Prabhupada came to the Western world and everyone surrendered, offered dandavats, washed his feet, and his first disciple became president of the United States. Not the present one, but you know, used to be a little more pious in America. Anyway, better not talk about that. I may get deported. So anyway, so if that had happened, Prabhupada had no opposition. The God Brothers worked with him, and Krishna consciousness is a worldwide religion instantaneously. Then what's the drama? What's the interest? What's the glorification of a devotee? So Krishna wants to glorify his devotee by having him go through all these trials and tribulations. At the same time, Prabhupada was completely immersed in his eternal relationship with Krishna. So we should not project ourselves thinking, oh my God, he had to suffer. No, Prabhupada didn't suffer. Because we cannot understand the mind or the intelligence or intention of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. One should not even try to understand because he's on a different level. He's with Krishna 24/7, eternally like this. So, anyway, Krishna's glorifying, just like Krishna glorified Queen Kunti. Krishna glorified Arjuna. Look at all the difficulty that Arjuna was put through. Every pure devotee. Krishna glorified, look at what Ambarish Maharaj had to go through. Devrasa Muni was trying to kill, the story from the Bhagavatam, Ambarish Maharaj. And basically, he was protected by Krishna Sudarshan Chakra, but he fasted for the whole time. I can't fast for that long. It's Ekadasi. I'm just waiting for it to be over. Anyway, so, but Prabhupada was always in ecstasy, and Krishna had arranged these things. And Krishna is the greatest dramatist. As we mentioned, Krishna likes ras. And different types of ras that one can experience. There's the humor, like Prabhupada experienced that. Anger, sometimes when Prabhupada get angry at rascals. Just like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he would get really angry at rascals and personalists. He would pick them up by, the scruff of their shirt or whatever and say, why are you preaching this nonsense? Why don't you just wear a piece of cotton instead of this shirt if you think everything is one? So Prabhupada manifested all these different interesting, what we call the indirect rasas. We're not talking about the direct rasas right now. Like humor, ghastness, all these different and interesting things. So Krishna is the greatest dramatist, and Krishna was arranging Srila Prabhupada's pastimes in this way. And so Prabhupada overcame all these difficulties, and in spite of having, eventually when he took sannyasa, having no money, no facility at all, he was able to produce 3 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam. And in order to produce those 3 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam, he practically had to give up eating. When he went to the printer had to give him food because he didn't want to spend any money of Krishna's money on his own self. And he would travel from Vrindavan, which was his headquarters, to Delhi in a train, but not first class, or second class, or third class. I guess, what do you call it, cattle class or something like that. Just like one time I was traveling in a train in Bengal, and I had to travel in the baggage compartment to save money. I was real cheap, too. And imagine how hot it is here. In Delhi, in the middle of the summer, 50 degrees. And Prabhupada was traveling back and forth, enduring all these austerities to carry out his spiritual master's mission. Great dedication. Now, apart from the glorification of Prabhupada, his activities are a role model for us. You know, we often try to understand, how should I act in Krishna consciousness? Well, we have Prabhupada's example. Not that I expect everybody to do the same thing as Prabhupada or endure the same austerities as Srila Prabhupada. But Prabhupada is the example of what it means to be Krishna conscious in this day and age. Oftentimes, I tell the devotees that Prabhupada is Bhagavad Gita in action for us. Now I look at Arjuna. Arjuna, of course, is the main personality in the Bhagavad Gita apart from Krishna. And it's a little harder for me to relate to Arjuna's predicament. I've never had to kill my family members. When I joined, they wanted to kill me, but anyways, that's another subject matter. But I never, not really, but they were pretty upset. And so I never wanted to kill my family members. Krishna never asked me to do that. So how do I relate to Arjuna's prayer? I'm not on the battlefield. I'm not a Kshatriya. I don't like hurting people. You know, I'm more peace and love, you know. Love, brother, you know, peace and love. So, but Prabhupada's example is very appropriate for me and for all of us. And that example is to sacrifice yourself for the welfare of others, following the order of your spiritual master. And Prabhupada was doing that. And whereas some of his godbrothers didn't follow the order of their spiritual master, this is not meant as a criticism, the order of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was to form a governing body commission and work cooperatively. Instead, they formed these different acharya or guru groups, or each one had their different math, and they were fighting in the courts over different things, isn't it? Complete disobedience to the order given by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to form a GBC. He used that term, GBC, because the term GBC was used also in regard to the Indian railway system, the governing body commission of the Indian railway system. So that's Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's term. So he didn't do that. And the followers of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur didn't do that. And as a result, they became, at least the mission, well, I don't want to use the word asara, but that's the word Prabhupada used, that they weren't able to carry out Lord Chaitanya's mission. Whereas Prabhupada, he did this. And he wanted all the devotees, now we get to the modern day and age, to work cooperatively. Like each and every one of the devotees here, you know, we have different gurus, different family members and everything like that. But we're all one family. This is Prabhupada's message to us, that we're all part of Srila Prabhupada's family. That's the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And we're all connected. We're all brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, what else? Because I'm a grandfather. Whatever. So we're all related like that. And because of that, we're able to be empowered to carry out Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, or Srila Prabhupada's mission, under the banner of Srila Prabhupada's instructions. And so this mission of Srila Prabhupada was formally inculcated during the signing of the incorporation papers of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in New York City. Srila Prabhupada being dedicated to the words of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, the mission of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, and developing compassion. Actually, one final thing. That's what got me to join the Krishna Consciousness movement. Prabhupada's compassion, his direct compassion. Because the first time I walked in a temple, the devotees treated me in a way that was not exactly compassionate. I walked into the temple, this was in 68 or something, like 68, 69. And the devotees basically told me that I was going to hell, unless I joined immediately and got rid of all my beautiful long hair. At that time, I looked like Satya Sai Baba. I think you understand, with a beard. And so I thought, I like Krishna consciousness, I like Prabhupada's books, I was reading, I was practicing, but these people, they're too much for me. And so I turned around, drove my car in the opposite direction. Every time I saw a devotee from that point forward, goodbye. And so what happened is that eventually I was informed that Prabhupada was coming to town. This was Gainesville, Florida, 1971, summer of 1971. And somehow or other, Krishna in my heart said to me, "You rascal, you march right to the temple right now." And I said, "No, I can't. These people are too mean to me." So I had this argument with the Super Soul. Super Soul said, "You're doing it, Prabhu." Not Prabhu. I'm not Prabhu, the Super Soul. And I marched to the temple and said, "I want to see Prabhupada." And anyway, as soon as I met Prabhupada, which is a week after I moved to the temple, but it was Prabhupada in the heart or Krishna in the heart, sorry. And I was so overwhelmed with Prabhupada's compassion, love, dedication, level of spirituality. I mean, I could go through all these superlatives about Prabhupada, that I was convinced I wanted to dedicate my life to serving Srila Prabhupada. And so you're all very fortunate you have the association of Srila Prabhupada. Right now, this is Prabhupada's society, Prabhupada's devotees, Prabhupada's family, Prabhupada's books, Prabhupada's instructions. And so it's not any different. Not any different. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, he reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die when thou art living still in sounds. So remember this. Prabhupada's movement, we're all here together, we're all family members. And thank you very much. Any questions or comments? Questions, comments? And I guess I'm your governing body commissioner, whatever that means. Why is that so great? Anyway, and of course, I'm pretty lazy intelligent, so you'll do all the work. But I'm very happy to see all these nice people, nice devotees, enthusiastic devotees here, and beautiful deities. And I'm just praying you can have a very big temple here eventually. Big. Think big. I was talking with Shampi Hari on the way here. I was explaining that in the temple, which is my home base, that we have 7 acres just for parking. And it's not big enough. Not big enough. So it's just not big enough, So we have to sometimes hire a school ground nearby and do a shuttle service and everything like that. So you got to think big. Think big. Like Prabhupada was thinking big. Like Prabhupada said in the beginning, I have 108 temples around the world. And he was asked, where are they? And he said, they haven't manifested yet. So we should think big here, Nice big temples. I can see the potential here. But it's developed. The potential is developed by relationships. We talked about this earlier. By devotee relationship, dadati pratigranati guyamakyati prichati. Loving relationships, serving the Vaishnavas, cultivating, helping the devotees, revealing your mind and confidence, giving prasadam, accepting prasadam. And once we have, I know you all have good relationships, but the more people come, they're attracted to good relationships, then the sky is the limit as far as expanding this temple and every temple like this. So, any questions? I know I spoke for too long. Questions? Yes?
Thank you, Maharaj, for a wonderful association in Prabhupada's Katha.
Thank you.
I always wonder, when Prabhupada faced so many obstacles to serve Krishna, what was Prabhupada's main prayer to Krishna?
Well, let me quote a verse from the Bhagavad Gita. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam chamayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachame na pranashyati. Krishna says, 6:30 of the Gita. Krishna says, for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost to him, nor is he ever lost to me. So what that means is that everything that happened to Prabhupada, Prabhupada saw that as Krishna's plan. Even things that were difficult, made life difficult. For example, let's refer to something in the Bhagavatam. You have Dharma the bull being beaten, his legs cut, by the personality of Kali. Now when Dharma the bull was questioned by Parikshit Maharaj, he didn't say, Kali did it! Kill that guy! He didn't say that. He actually indicated it was Krishna. So we should all understand that when something happens outside of our control, that doesn't mean that we can be foolish and blame it on Krishna. You know, if you're in a car, wear a seatbelt. And if you don't, that's your problem. I mean, like all right, here's an interesting story. About 3 years ago, I got a new car. I wanted to see how fast it would go. And so, anyway, electric car. So this is really cool. So as I put down, and then I saw some flashing lights behind me. Did I think, oh, Krishna, it's Krishna? No, I was thinking, this is my foolishness. Krishna wanted me to have a ticket because he loves me so much. So the point I'm making is things outside of our control. We understand Krishna has done that. You know, we try our best. What's that? Man proposes, God disposes, as the saying goes. And so Prabhupada was seeing Krishna, like, this is how I usually advise the devotees, seeing Krishna behind everything, then understanding what is Krishna saying, and then understanding what Krishna wants me to do, and then doing it. You know, there's 4 steps there. And so you can see that in Prabhupada's pastimes. Like when the Jhansi program didn't work, Prabhupada didn't get depressed. He just thought, Krishna wants me to preach elsewhere, which basically is good because that's here. And when his wife, you know, really created a lot of trouble, Prabhupada, you know, he saw Krishna behind it. He didn't really blame his wife. He saw Krishna behind it. He said, well, Krishna wants me like this. When his godbrothers kicked him out, he saw Krishna behind it. He saw Krishna. But at the same time, he was very determined. When Sumati Moraji refused to give him a ticket to come to America, he didn't just say, okay, Krishna doesn't want me to have a ticket. He was so determined, even to meet her. He sat on the steps of the building where she was working. She was in charge of this India steamship company. And he just remained there, and he was determined. When he didn't get the P form from the government of India, you know, to get out of India, the tax form, he just went in and said, I'm going to see the boss, you know, the person in charge, I guess the minister. And he remained determined. So he didn't give up. But when there was no way that you could do something, then Prabhupada saw Krishna, and he took some alternative route. So, in other words, to answer your question, Prabhupada always saw Krishna, and he just basically was understanding why is Krishna wanted. Exactly what prayer he was chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prabhupada didn't mention to me, or as far as I know, his personal prayers to Krishna, but he was praying, basically, let me serve my spiritual master. He was intent, it was just the whole focus of his life, was the pleasure and the service of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And we see in Prabhupada's pranam mantra, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. Same thing as, absolute ascension thou hast proved, and personal calamity thou hast moved. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, personalism, voidism, Paschatya Deshatarni, coming to the Western world. Wow. That is the order he got from his Guru Maharaj. The pranam mantra. Interesting. Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Shampiori.
So the 7 purposes of Iskcon?
Yeah.
Can you speak on the third one? Because that seems to be the main.
What's the third one? I don't. Oh, to bring the members of the society closer together. So, to bring the members of the society closer together means Dadati Pratigaranati Guyamakyati Prichati Bhunkte Bhojyate Chaiva. Loving exchanges, caring for each other. Maybe having a devotee care group initiative. Like we have, in our temple in North Carolina, we have one group just dedicated to caring for the devotees. If the devotees in the hospital, devotees having trouble, whatever, then it's like a 911 number we have for that. And immediately the devotees are cared for. And, of course, the same thing, home programs, giving prasadam, accepting prasadam, and just helping devotees in difficulty. All devotees. Without discrimination according to, caste or creed or color or who their guru is. It's not really that important in the devotee community basis. It's just we care for everybody. I think, that's how we do it. And how to practically do that? I was a member, or I still am a member of the Devotee Care Committee on the GBC. And there's different initiatives. There's psychological care, there's physical care, there's even financial care, like that. Let's take, for example, another big community of people from India. Let's take an example, the Gujarati community. They're very close because they care for each other, right? Now, you know that they lend money to each other to build their hotel. You know about this and everything. Hotel, motel, patels. And so, very, very close-knit community, isn't it? And so they're able to build big temples, like the Swami Narayan temples, the Baps, and everything like that, because of their closeness, their community. So, of course, basically they're all from the same place, so it's easier for them. So for us, it may be a little bit of a challenge. So to see the connection with Prabhupada, like, where's that statement? Things fall apart where the center will not hold. So if you see the center is on serving Prabhupada and pleasing Prabhupada, then our communities can become much more tight-knit. Does that make sense? You have the center, you care for everybody. Not that I care for you and I don't care for you. So we have to give up all sorts of discrimination, Indian, American, Chinese, black, white, who your guru is, all these types of different divisions that we have. We're all part of Prabhupada's family. And anyway, that's my understanding how to do that. As far as strategies, you all have to strategize how to do that. But if you build loving relationships, everyone will be attracted. everyone will be attracted, and then your community will grow. You build a big temple, you build several big temples. I mean, in North Atlanta, you're going to have 5 temples. We shouldn't think small. We should think big. I mean, just see how many nice people here. And you just started. Wow. Amazing. So I'm amazed at the progress that everybody's made here. And I'm here to support you in whatever way I can. Don't ask me for money, but any other way. I'm just a poor sannyasi, you know. Just an old guy, you know, what can I do? So, but, you know, anyway, you know, I pushed to have this temple formally accepted as part of Iskcon with our regional governing body. And I'll continue to do that. And, you know, if you need any help with developing community development, I'm there to help in, you know, whatever way I can do and suggest that, suggest how to do that. Okay, I think it's time, right? Probably overstayed my welcome.